Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we will be talking about battle rifles, the ammo that they run on, and what would be some top picks for such a rifle. Battle rifles are typically for engagements that take place at distances between 300 to 800 yards, with the occasional need for a 1,000-yard shot. In order to help us put these distances into perspective, in a few moments here I will be shooting at a steel target from a distance of 300 yards and will then zoom out. Once we have a better perspective on 300 yards, we can just mentally double that for 600 yards or triple it for 900, etc., etc. You get the idea. Today's video is a work in progress and is not complete until we hear from you as to what you think a top battle rifle would be for you. You can pick anything you want, and it does not have to be a semi-auto rifle to qualify. I'm pretty sure that some people's idea of the perfect battle rifle would be to simply opt for a bolt action, chambered in 6mm Creedmoor for example, that can be used to engage targets out to 1900 yards. Although to be honest, most shooters would not try to push it past the 1600 yard mark. An example of such a rifle would be the Seekins Precision Hit, or HIT. In other words, try to think of this video as a segue into a good conversation that will take place in the comments section below. I will certainly do my best to provide some good food for thought to get things started though. If you liked today's video, please remember to click the like button, do subscribe, and turn on that notifications icon if you haven't already done so. And I think you've already guessed it, we're definitely looking forward to your comments on this one. Thanks again. Well, as I mentioned earlier, let's go ahead and start by shooting at 300 yards and then zoom out to kind of help to put things into some perspective. Well, here is the target that was just now hit at a distance of 300 yards with a caliber and bullet weight that will be identified later in today's video. This, for perspective's sake, this target that I was aiming at is exactly 2 inches in diameter. The exact center of impact, I measured this off camera. From there to the center of that target is exactly 3 inches. So basically we were 3 inches away from a perfect bullseye at 300 yards in some pretty windy conditions. The bullets that you were looking at on the right side of the screen are a 223/556 and a 7.62 by 39. The larger bullet on the left side of the screen is the .308 Winchester, also known as the 7.62 by 51. The two bullets on the right were originally intended for conflicts that would take place inside of 200 yards. That being the case, they could certainly be pushed to much greater distances, but the key word there is push, as in you were starting to push your luck when shooting past those distances. The .308 was and is still being used for longer range shots by militaries around the world to this day. While everything that you just now heard is true, the lines started getting blurred somewhere along the way. Today there are more choices and calibers than ever before, all trying to be that long-range battle rifle and bullet combination of choice. Don't let all of the extra bullet choices that you now see on screen intimidate you. Let's see if we can make some short work of it. Once you get over the euphoria of how impressive the .308 looks when it is next to the 5.56 and 7.62 by 39, and reality sets back in a little bit, you might just remember that many decisions come down to size and weight constraints. Yes, the .308 is impressive, but who really wants to carry the extra weight of 8 20-round magazines of that ammo all day? 8 20-round mags, which is not uncommon for a soldier to carry, would weigh approximately 8.6 pounds or 3.9 kilograms. And that is your best case scenario if you are only using the 149 grain ball ammo. It only gets heavier from there if you are carrying the 168 grain or 175 grain ammo. But to keep the math simple and to keep it as favorable to the 308 as we can, let's just stick with 149 grain bullet weight. Compare that with a soldier carrying 8 30-round mags of 55 grain 5.56 ammo. The result is that the 308 weighs 8.6 pounds compared to 6 pounds of 5.56, and the soldier gets to carry 240 rounds compared to 160 of 308. In other words, you get to carry 50% more ammo and it weighs 30% less. But certainly size and weight constraints aren't the only place where the lines really started to get blurred. The AR-15 platform was originally designed to use a 55 grain bullet, and it utilized a 1 in 14 twist, so the end result would be that the bullets would immediately tumble upon impact. The problem with the slow twist rates is that the range of the 55 grain bullet was greatly limited because it simply wasn't stable enough downrange. However, in 1964, the AR-15/M16 was upgraded to a 1 in 12 twist to help it reach out to 500 yards. However, at those distances, the 55 grain bullet lacked a certain amount of punch. During the 1980s, this problem was addressed by adopting a heavier 62 grain bullet and a faster 1 in 7 twist. As more time has gone by, the 5.56 has been used with a 69 grain and ultimately a 77 grain bullet for even greater long-range accuracy and downrange energy. At this point, I will ask you to take a look at the 6.5 Grendel, which is the third bullet from the left. It was first introduced in May 2003 at the Blackwater Training Facility in North Carolina, where it remained supersonic at 1,200 yards and outshot the 7.62x51 NATO with about half the recoil. It fits into the AR-15 platform, but it should be noted that there are some reliability issues unless you are using special magazines designed to handle that cartridge. Those magazines typically hold 26 rounds. While there are several bullet weights to choose from, most people have found that it performs best with bullet weights of 120 to 130 grains, utilizing a 20-inch barrel, 1 in 8 twist. Next, we will look at the 224 Valkyrie, which is the third bullet from the right and is right there next to the Grendel round. The 224 Valkyrie was introduced in 2018 and has been seen as a competitor to the 6.5 Grendel. Like the Grendel, it will function on an AR-15 platform, but it will not work so well with 5.56 magazines. For optimal reliability, it is recommended to use magazines originally designed for the 6.8 Special, which happens to be the parent case to the Valkyrie. As far as bullet performance is concerned, it would seem that the 90 grain Sierra Match King bullet provides the best downrange performance for the Valkyrie. However, that particular bullet functions best with a 1 in 6.5 twist. The challenge with such a fast twist rate is that it greatly limits the use of all of the lighter bullet weights because they tend to come apart in flight from their higher speeds combined with that fast twist. To get around this issue, many users are going with a 1 in 7 twist and shooting the 88 grain ELD match from Hornady, which happens to be the bullet you are looking at right now. Next, we will talk about the AR-10 platform. Originally, you could only shoot .308 Winchester from such a platform, but these days people are also shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor, which you do not see here, and the 6mm Creedmoor, which is to the right of the .308. Without going too deep into the weeds on this platform, it is important to know that you can shoot all three of those calibers with the use of the same mags that you would normally use for the .308 and even the same bolt carrier group as the .308. Which one of the three to use depends largely on ammo availability, which is tough right now, and happens to be why you do not see a 6.5 Creedmoor in this video. As far as pure shooting performance is concerned, if you are engaging targets at 400 yards and closer, you are best to stay with the 308 as it will offer more energy at the closer distances. However, the further you go past 400 yards, the more you will begin to appreciate either of the Creedmoor rounds with their better downrange energy and lighter recoil. But now for the moment of truth. Which one of these would be my top pick for a battle rifle? There is a certain group of rifles that has become popular of late, and they are the AR-15s that are designed for 3-gun matches. They are extremely well made and tend to be tack drivers. Most offer an 18-inch barrel for better velocity and a 1 in 8 or 1 in 7 twist for the heavier bullet weights like the 77 grain. Most will have a 2-stage lightweight trigger that breaks at 3.5 pounds. Some examples would be the Daniel Defense DD M4 V7 Pro, the Rock River LAR-15 R3 competition rifle, and for budget's sake, the Ruger AR-556 MPR. To be clear, I am not recommending a sporting goods store $699 AR-15 with a 16-inch barrel and some 55 grain ammo. I am recommending a top quality build that has an 18-inch barrel, 1 in 8 twist, and for the ammo selection I like the 68 grain and 77 grain bullets. I also like a good scope on top, such as a 4x16, 5x25, or 6x24 power. And to answer the question of what caliber and bullet weight did I use to make the 300-yard shot earlier in this video, it was indeed a 77 grain 5.56.